Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're heading up to my buddy Dan's house and we're gonna start up his LQ4, his 6-liter engine for the first time since he's installed onto his chassis for his 36 Chevy, and we'll see how it goes.
Now turn left.
Got our first snow of the season. So we're up here at my buddy Dan's house, and we've got his 36 Chevy sitting there. The body is getting worked on. He's got things going on, but today he's got the engine, transmission, drivetrain all put together. He's got a 4-link rear suspension, and we're going to do a first time startup. So this is a 6-liter LQ4 out of a van, whatever.
Yeah,
what year was that?
2004.
2004. So it's a 3rd gen engine, and the changes that he's made, of course, it's got these beautiful valve cover and coil covers on with a high intake manifold, and put some headers on it. And what else did you do to the engine, Dan?
I have a cam that I replaced, put a bigger cam in it. It's not radical, but it's a little bit more than stock.
Okay, so
And yeah, not much change. I did tear the whole engine down, put new rings in it, new bearings in it, and then put it all back together again.
right.
I also did the same with the tranny. I tore the tranny down, put a Summit kit in it with all new bearings and all new clutch backs. And I did find 2 bad bearings, which it was worth it tearing it apart, because
Yeah.
I found 2 bad bearings. It would have been trouble later on in life. So
Yep.
yeah.
Well, that's good. So I assume we've got transmission fluid, we've got oil, and you checked what we tried to do, what we were planning to do was make sure that we've got oil pressure. And Dan hooked up, and he removed the connection to the pressure port for oil and put a mechanical gauge here. So he cranked the engine the other day and saw it was 40 pounds just cranking, so that's a good amount of pressure. And so that was the main concern when we first started up. But he's working on tidying up the original wire harness.
Well,
for
the wiring
computer.
harness is pretty crude, but it'll be all cleaned up once it's all taped and put, what they call, I was going to say,
The wire
looping
loom.
harness, but the nice clean
Yep.
covering over it.
Yep.
It'll actually clean up real clean, and it'll look real nice when it's done. It's just that this not necessary for right at this point, just to start it up, make sure it runs.
Yeah. And in case you need to change any wiring or just double check, connections, stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
so he's got the ECU, we've got the original bin file, which is the original program in the computer, and probably, we've got to delete, we downloaded the bin file. I've got a wire harness array, my bench harness that we use to connect the blue connection on the ECU, And then we've got a dongle. It's a Bluetooth dongle, which is an OBD2 MX. If I can find the OBD link MX Plus. So we're going to hook that up if we've got to make any other changes, but we downloaded the file from the ECU, I don't know, a week or so ago, and you made changes with Universal Patcher, right?
Well, yeah, I use I have a program that I changed.
Another program.
I don't remember what I don't know if it's HV Tuner or I'll have to look at it, what I call it.
Okay, all right. So he's got the bin file ready to re-upload after we just see if this thing fires, and if it does, it's probably going to shut off within a few seconds, which is normal because of the we haven't deleted the no VATS security. So let's see what happens with the rest. If you want to mention anything else, Dan?
One of the problems that we ran into just recently was this water pump was coming out at this port and it whacked into my throttle control, and that really, so I ended up going buying a Camaro one. It's pretty much same year, 2002 Camaro, but this port is so close to the belt, I don't know what's going to happen so I might have to do something there to adjust it. I don't know what, but we'll see what happens. I possibly could move this wheel up. I don't know. That is yet to be figured out.
Right.
There's always something, it seems like.
Yeah, the stock port or stock water line actually came out of this top.
Right.
And so this is,
top,
and it
but
kind of,
unfortunately it hit into the.
right, it was interfering right here.
Yeah.
So
The radiator's not hooked up yet because I just got the water pump, and obviously when we get it a little later on down the road, we'll get the hoses on and fill it up with water. Maybe we could run it a bit longer.
All right, so right now,
One other thing, Darryl, you might want to look at is the fuel pressure, and it's oddly enough, the fuel gauge is not in the most convenient part, but it's fuel pressure gauge. It's actually right here.
oh, I got it. Okay, right at your
your
regulator.
because it's on the regulator, so
Yep.
I've already adjusted that to 60 psi, and we might have to do some fine tuning on that adjustment.
Okay. So you've got the fuel tank with a source. One of these is the source, and
Yeah,
then
there's
we run it
return.
up through. You've got an internal pump. Run it up through. We've got a Evo Energy filter going into. I don't know.
I don't know, regulator, but I don't know whose brand
It's
it
a
is.
regulator. I can't read that. I don't have my glasses on.
I don't
And,
remember
and
who
then
it
the
is.
return goes back to the tank. So that regulator will maintain about 58, 60 psi
That's
roughly.
what we're trying to achieve. about
And then they've
60.
got a line going up to the fuel rail, which is at the front passenger side, and then it will cross over and feed everything there on both sides. So, yeah, the engine's looking great. You can kind of tell what the color of the body might be right there. That'll be cool. So, yeah, 36 Chevy, and it's going to be the first time we fire it up.
All right,
Give it a shot.
This is start number one. We're gonna give it a shot. Fuel pumps up. I got some oil pressure or fuel pressure. See what happens. Uh-oh.
Your solenoids.
You got something moving there? Crank yesterday. Tried moving the wires there. definitely not the battery. That is. Alright. Well, had it cranking yesterday. You want to give it a tap or two, see if it moves whack a little bit. Okay, part A number 1. Might as well, it'll spin over now.
All right,
Let me just make sure it's gonna go. Okay, go ahead.
You got it. It's he just found it. It was on.
You sure it's on?
Yeah,
All right,
it started.
here we go.
First crank.
I turned it off though.
So right now we have the no VAT, so it's the security, it's gonna shut it off. And that's probably... That's probably...
Could be the bats or it could
Could
be
be the VATs.
Okay. Well, we'll just do. Let me just do it one more time. See if it goes. It's definitely running.
So let's read, do you have any codes? Would it show?
Oh well.
Would it show up?
Nah, it doesn't show up as.
Okay.
I'll read the codes. It's definitely kicking now.
Yes, and it's firing.
All right, so we got the 446 code. We have 6 codes. All that's the evaporator codes, which I am deleting.
Yeah. And the evaporator codes were from just cranking it.
It should go that way. 452 41 O2 sensor heater. I had a bad feeling about that. 161's O2 sensor. 146 or 446 is evaporator emissions.
Right.
Evaporator emissions. We do have 2 O2 sensors out of
Right.
the circuit.
Did you
and I deleted them out of the
Right, so that makes sense
Yeah.
with a stock program.
Yeah. So I think that is
Legit, that's,
legit codes.
yep.
So,
Okay,
all right.
it fired.
Let's go ahead and let's get set up with my laptop and see about downloading codes.
Yep. All right, we'll get the harness and I'll work on getting your ECU turned off. Or
No,
dis-
we could just use. And then I have no VAT spin file, and I updated that
Right,
the 22nd, which is today, because I took out those other additional codes.
yeah.
So there I am.
Within that same one file. The one bin file has no VATs, some of the
Original one.
codes removed.
now I have the one with no bats.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
okay.
call it no bats, so.
All right.
All right, so the question is, am I connected? I do have.
You're connected, you got a
I got-
Bluetooth,
Do you have a Bluetooth?
you got a Bluetooth connection,
All right.
which on the dongle, it shows that it's blue. Let me get you down here. It's, right?
All right, so what should I do? Should I say file?
So when you save that file, did you save all?
Is that,
You saved everything and not just the portion, right?
that's to my knowledge.
Yeah, okay, so
I'm not
you're-
an expert.
Yep, so that should work.
So.
It'll take a little while.
Should I say, what I mean, I want to write parameters or?
Yeah, write everything.
Write full flash.
Write full flash, yes.
All right, but I didn't load the file in. All right, there it is. All right, so load the file, no VATs, open. Yes, it's been powered up.
Okay. All right, and just so the
Operating system
checksum,
request failed. Check for a live kernel. Checking for recovery.
all right, just try it again. I had that problem when I was trying to read my ECU the first time.
So,
All right,
do we have to have the power on, the ignition power on?
Yes.
Okay, so that might be
Right,
it.
so just so for wait 10 seconds or so. And then
Try again.
try it. We're both electrical engineers and programmers, but we're making our way through this process. It's the
Upload
first
permission
time.
granted.
All right. Good.
Kernel
So, it's
upload
working.
100%.
Okay. Does it say anything about checksums?
Yeah, well, the thing is, I'm not sure that we're going to be able to pass the checksums because in the other thing it said that the checksums are not. It can't guarantee the checksums will work.
Okay, but we just don't want to brick your module. So you're talking to this thing.
I do have the original one, so hopefully, if this doesn't,
Yep. All right.
Yeah, so I went on the website for the, when I downloaded the Tuner Pro, and then it said, well, in order to get I watched a video on YouTube of a guy who knew where the files was, and it's basically somebody had made the file. Somebody decoded
Yep.
all the bits, and they figured out what was what.
Of a 1 megabyte file of
And
binary.
they wrote this file. They wrote this file so that it decoded everything. And I did check things like I checked the serial number or the VIN number of the, and it was an 04,
Yep.
which was correct. Everything was correct. Everything that I expected it to be was expected. So,
All right, we're going to try to upload this file and we'll get back. All right, so we've uploaded the new bin file to the ECU, and we've got VATs turned off and some of the DTC codes disabled. So we just want to see that the engine's going to start up and continue to run. So let me get out of the way here. Give it a shot.
and
Success!
I'm actually going to get
Good one.
my camera out, and I'm going to do the same thing again with my camera.
All right.
Very fast.
We continued to run, and it was running smooth. I mean, as a first start. So Dan's gonna go get his camera and take some video of this. So, Dan, did you put in an AFR gauge by any chance? Just to see what how lean or rich you might be running? You don't have an air fuel
I
ratio
don't.
gauge? No? Okay.
All right. One of these days, but not right now. Okay, so, and I give it a little rev.
All
and,
right.
Hopefully we don't die of fumes, but
All right, here we go. Fuel pump on, everything's clicking.
I heard a little clicking on the valve cover.
Yeah, was it the back cylinder?
Yeah. But good news is we don't have any cooling on this engine, so I do not want to run it too long, and that's about all we're going to run it for now. The proof was that we could actually start it up and it will run.
Change the programming, which was
Yeah.
a big plus since that was a first time thing.
Yeah, so we do have a little bit of tick in there. Have to look at why that is.
Your headers are starting to darken up
Yeah.
just from the heat.
Yeah, and
And,
those wires are going to end up melting on the header.
yeah.
So,
Um,
all right. So we had 50 psi of oil pressure. I noticed over on the meter over there we had about 60 psi of fuel pressure.
was it?
We do have a code though. That was a, and I'm going to read the code. I'm going to turn the key on. And I'm going to reset this so I can read the code again.
Dan did a nice
Last
job
time
on
it was
this.
Evaporator code. Evaporator 443 code. They have 12 codes, which is not really good, but okay. Let me walk through them. 443, 452, 717 is input turbine speed sensor circuit. 101 is MAF circuit. Well, that
Mass
could be
airflow?
because my MAF sensor is not really connected up. O2 sensor is heater. This is why one I was worried about. Circuit malfunction. Bank 1 sensor 2. So I should have took that out.
That's your back after the catalytic converter.
Yeah, and I should have took that out, and they should have come out, evaporator emissions control system. I should have took those out. Maybe, I'm gonna have to check it, maybe I have to take it out of a different spot.
Well, yeah.
I did take these out. Evaporators, I did take them all out and they didn't, so we have to take a second look at that and see what's going on with that. All right, that's it for now.
Okay, let's take a look and we'll regroup and give it another try.
Okay, so when let's go into reverse.
That was the first gear you did, right? Okay, so. All right, so we reprogrammed the computer, removed some of the DTC codes, and reloaded the program and started up.
I'm gonna go in forward with the tranny.
All right, so we've got it
So right
in.
now I'm in neutral with the tranny.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start it back up and then put it in drive. Hopefully it'll stay on the jack stand. after
Brakes,
Well, it's a good question.
check them out, yeah.
All right, here we go again.
You got gears.
Goes forward and it goes backwards.
It does.
I'm just gonna do it one more time.
and the
I don't
brakes.
wanna overheat the engine, but
Yep.
one more time.
Awesome.
Successful, even have brakes.
Yes, you do. You got a little bit of heat, it's coming out of your.
It's just, there's no water in it, so.
Right. And then this guy is intake.
Yeah, so I was telling you about the
Normal.
map center. You take a look at the one that you got,
Yeah.
gave me. It's exactly the same thing, but the connector doesn't fit.
Oh,
And this one is designed to mount into a tube. So you cut a hole in a tube. Well, you know, I could have
Yeah.
bought the tube actually,
yep.
but since I'm going to I have to figure out what I'm going to do with the. Because I'm thinking of this snorkel that goes out like this.
Yes.
And so if I do that, I was probably going to have this map sensor kind of like this in
Yeah.
there somehow.
Right.
That was my thought process.
Okay. Well, I'd say it's a
Successful
success.
thing. I didn't really check the codes though.
All right, yeah, check them and then.
I should still get, I still should get a code on the map sensor, which I think would make sense.
Right,
But I'm
'cause
hoping to get rid of those other ones.
yeah, the O2 sensors downstream, they've been deleted. We've got O2 sensors upstream at the headers. So those are still enabled. And the catalytic converter
Oh, the hose fell out.
code and the hose, yeah.
Oh,
Lost vacuum.
I don't know. I still got the 141 error.
Well, try to do a remove. You can delete codes
Yeah.
and then run it again, and then it may take a little while to.
See, I still get that evaporation one, 443, 446,
They
449.
may just be left over. I would delete the codes using that and then start it
Well,
up and try.
okay.
All right, we're gonna check out these other. We're gonna remove the error codes that I think were left over, and then run the engine again and see if those codes show up. They shouldn't, because they've been removed from the malfunction indicator lamp section of the program, as well as the DTC section in the program. So in theory, we should not see those error codes for the O2.
I got 452. 452 is in twice. That's that evaporator code.
Okay,
So it says load sensor. Well, it says pressure sensor low. But I don't know. I feel
And
we do have a
that's-
pressure sensor here,
and that's that guy.
and I don't know if that's that might be. But still, a 452, we should have removed that code.
Yeah. I would recommend
that's-
just deleting the codes and then start it up and see what reappears.
fact that it has a big.
You got a
huge-
huge.
Let's try to do something else with that.
Yeah, all
Let
right.
me just,
Well, it was a successful day up at Dan's house, getting his engine started for his 36 Chevy for the first time. And basically, for the first time, it all went really pretty smooth. Yeah, there are some DTC codes that we've got to straighten out, and I think he probably will real soon, as well as more fine tuning to account for that different cam and intake manifold. So, I'm sorry to end the video real abruptly like that, but I had to get back home, and sorry I didn't have a closing remark there. But anyway, we're back here, and I just wanted to say thanks again for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it and got something out of it. Next, we're going to be getting this engine fired up, my LQ9. So I've got to just finish tidying up some of the wiring and double checking connections to the PCM and sensors. But when that's all done, we're going to get this guy started. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.